Habene. Pan Yunishie. Hola, buenos días. Me llamo Pan. Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Pan, and today we will make a traditional bow. So, let's go. I will explain some things about the so-called Comanche Archery from a Navajo perspective. I will use a jacaranda tree branch because it can be found in Arizona. The new trailer of the upcoming movie Prey, Predator 5, depicts archery that is supposed to be Native American, so my friend Miko Archer convinced me to address the matter. He already made a perfect video about it in his channel, so you can go and check it. He proves how impractical what they showed is. To show how it should look like, I will actually have to create a traditional bow and arrows. This will be a long process. It will take a lot of time to finish. It's ready! Okay, just kidding. I will show a short montage of the process. The whole thing took me a day to finish. Enjoy some of my flute music in the background while I explain what my father taught me and what I found out later in life about this art. The important part to be historically accurate in my performance is the shaft of the bow. So for the string I will weave hemp because it is easier to find. For the arrow tips, although I have access to obsidian, I will use my usual steel screws recipe so that I'm able to use the same arrows multiple times with no fear of them breaking. This is the end result. Each warrior would decorate his arrows in different styles. That way, when they would collect the thrown arrows, they would know what belonged to whom. I left the bow look simple for this video, as I'm focusing on its function. My first argument would be on the name itself. The king of fast archery, Lars Anderson, made a video about the Comanche Archery, and people took it as if only the Comanche nation was capable of these skills, when in fact this style was well spread among all tribes, especially when using a short bow and especially around the south. I will explain why. Let's explore history directly from its source. In all these historical photos from when this archery was still alive, we see the same theme. Short bows, most not too wide, made obviously by a branch, and all arrows held on the bow hand, with their tips looking up or down. Testimonies speak about how fast and skilled these warriors were. There are enough videos around that explain this part, so check the links in the description. By using the photos that we saw, the historical records, and what little survived among the tribes, I think we can recreate this art, by using our logic and understanding the physics. Of course you will ask, how much should you pull these bows? Well, the bow itself is made to be pulled relatively a little bit, not much. The technique itself and the bow itself is different from other bows and styles. And I think that happened because if you were in the desert, you would use any wood available around, even from a bush, because if you had trees, you preserve them. You won't take them down just for a bow. They give you shade, they give life around. So, wood from a bush, no, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. With this style, you don't have to pull them all the way back and break them, but it's like that. And believe me, you don't want to be hit by that. The Anasazi have a story to share. A prosperous nation left with one last tree. Before moving away to find an alive land, they take down this one last tree to do the final tasks. So this story will teach all other tribes that you preserve the trees. So this short bow came to be. There are two ways of pulling the arrow with your fingers. This thumb and this pinch release. The way the arrows are handled shows me that even nockless arrows can be used. In fact, you wouldn't really see any nocks as we know them today. These nocks would be smaller, just big enough to help the arrow stay on the string for your pinch draw. They were pointy on both sides, so by pulling them on the string, they would slide themselves in place. This seems to have evolved from nockless arrows. Many of you that already know me, you have noticed that I use nockless arrows. Time to actually practice how to shoot in the Native American shortbow way. Your thumb goes on the back of the bow like this. Your index finger moves slightly on the middle of the bow, mirroring the thumb. You would place your arrows on your bow with their nocks looking up or down. With a swift motion, you can grab an arrow and load it. Bend your body forward like this. Keep your elbow high and open your bow. As you can see, the arrow doesn't come all the way back like in other archery styles. It can be pulled on the side or under the chin. I'll demonstrate this style's speed and accuracy. My bow is short and flexible, and the butt of my arrows are close to my hand. That gives me an advantage. If I do this motion here, and I am stuck with my eyes on the target, I can see both in my vision, the target and the butt of my next arrow. So, I'm like this, I see the target, I do that, I know exactly where to grab, and I'm here and I shoot. I'm here, I grab and shoot. It's really fast, you know, it gives me confidence that my hands, my body, will do what is needed. Let me try again. It's really nice. While shooting from the right side, I noticed a problem. While I was trying to put the arrow on the string, my arrow would get inside the other arrows, so it would confuse me and it would take my focus from the target. So I had to pull it back, put it back on, and then shoot. But from the left side, I would simply pull it off, put it on, and shoot. It wasn't confusing, and it was really fast. So I think, I'm confident, that they would use the left side mainly to shoot. It makes sense. I'm pretty confident that we actually recreated this art as close as possible to how it used to be. These archery skills require constant training, and when this came along, it changed the game. Not every archer is capable of learning these skills. It's hard, it takes a lifetime. But this, anyone can learn how to use this. And this can shoot through foliage, it can pierce armor from such a distance that bows simply can't. So this makes more warriors faster. Well, the need to stay relevant made Native Americans replace archery long enough to use this, that distance was made and the art was lost. And the warriors who held these skills were warriors. They died. They were killed. Sad. These skills come from within. They come from the need to fight as best as possible, and those with that warrior spirit were those who would hold their ground to the bitter end. This is my theory on why the most skilled warriors didn't pass down these skills. It would make sense that such a big budget would do the slightest research. Well, I think they tried to show something lost, something unique, something cool, but the historical style looks way cooler, and it works, it's fast, it's unique. I don't know where they got this from, but it's not accurate. That simple. Imagine a movie with that budget that uses recreated historical arts and fast shooting. That would be amazing. They should at least make the slightest effort to promote something real. I think they got confused by the Ishi shooting style. Well, let's explore it to show you what I mean. Bow falls on the left side 45 degrees, the thumb goes back like before, the arrow goes on the right side, and the index finger goes like that. Here we made room for the arrow to sit and be our sights. So we knock the arrow, and now the arrow goes on between those two fingers, and the tips hold the string back. The thumb holds the arrow on the back side, and we have that. We can pull close to our face with our hand, and like that we have accuracy and can hunt even lizards, small game. But this is different, it's not the same, and I will show you why. Even this unique style uses almost the same technique as before, only slightly adjusted to shoot from the right side of the bow. You wouldn't use the Mediterranean draw with these bows and arrows. And these were my points, and so I'm out. Whoop.